Hello everyone, once again I want to welcome you back to the YouTube channel with Gilbert or what. And today we're going to continue with our study of information literacy. In the previous video, I remember I talked about citations, and I promised you that in my subsequent video we would be talking about in-text citation, basically the APA 7th edition, that is the American Psychological Association 7th edition. Because these citation formats, they are always being changed and modified year in. So from the 6th edition and then the 7th edition of the APA format, there has been a slight change in how the work is. And to go straight away into what we are supposed to study, what we are supposed to learn as of this video, when it comes to in-text citation, remember telling you that in-text citation, it's done in it is done from within that text, or maybe from within your research. As you're writing down your research, you do the in-text citation straight away. You don't wait maybe at the end of the page like the footnote, or maybe at the end of that particular chapter like the end note. But this one, you do it in the text that you're writing. And in-text citation, it depends on a number of things. One, it depends on the number of authors for a particular source. And then there is also a consideration when it comes to group authors, when it comes to multiple work by the same person in the same year. And then there is also citing multiple authors in parentheses. And if we talk about the citation, considering the number of authors for a particular source, basically in this format of APA, the citation, unlike that of the MLA and then the Chicago, this one you do with the author's first name only. The second name does not apply. You only do with the author's first name, and then you quote the author's first name, the year of his publication. Basically, those are important facts that you quote when it comes to this. So, if there is only one author, you just quote the first name of that author, and then you quote the year that that work was published, and then maybe to some extent, when it is required, you can also quote the title of the work, or maybe the title of the piece, and then maybe the year of publication as well. But those are not so necessary. And then when it comes to two authors, you quote the first name of the first author. Then you separate with a comma. Then you quote the first name of the second author, and then you put the year of their publication. When it comes to three authors as well, you do the same thing. You quote the first author, you separate with a comma. The second author, you separate with a comma. The third author, you separate with a comma. Then you quote the year of publication. But when the number of authors have, let's say the number of authors have exceeded 3, there you only quote the first name of the first author, and then you use the word et al. to indicate that there are other authors. You use et al. And then you quote the year of their publication. Maybe if I'm to try to do that, let's say that the author is Smith. Smith. You do that. You do this. Smith et al. And then you quote the year of the publication. That is how you do it for that when the authors have already exceeded three. That is from maybe four authors and above. You only quote the name of the first author, and then the others you just use the word et al. And then when it comes to group authors, here depending on whether that group or that organization whether they have an abbreviation or not. But if they have an abbreviation, one, you first have to in your first citing you have to write the name of the group or the organization in full. Then in your second citation, you are advised to now use the abbreviation. Let's say you're talking of World Health Organization. In your first citing, you should write it in full. But then in your second and subsequent citings, you cannot use the abbreviation, which is WHO. WHO, because it is widely known. But for groups that have no abbreviations, yeah, it is advisable that you adhere to the rules and then you write them in full. And then when it comes to by multiple works by the same author in the same year, when you're citing this, you are supposed to separate those works using alphabetical letters in lowercase, either A, B, C, D, depending on the number of work that particular person has written in that very year. That is how you differentiate them. So let's say you're talking of Smith, you say Smith, then you quote in the bracket 2019 A. That is to mean it is the first work he quoted. Or maybe if you say 2019 B, that refers to the second work that the person has written. And then when it comes to citing multiple authors in parentheses, this one you list the authors, separating them with a comma or maybe a semicolon. You list, you make the first quotation of the first piece, and then you separate with a semicolon or a comma, and then again you make the second quotation of your second citation. Then again you separate it with a comma or a semicolon. Then again you make the third, that is in parentheses. It's like listing them and just separating them using semicolons, but for different citations. All the citations are independent. This citation, the author and his year of publication. This other one with his year of publication, like that, like that. That is how you do it when you're doing the in-text citation. And then when we come and we look at what I'm calling the parenthesis or parenthetical or the narrative formats. Parenthetical, this is like when you're listing, let's talk of it, some kind of listing, the citation, where you put it that, okay, it's either at the beginning or at the end, but the citation remains the same, the first name of the author, and then the year of publication in brackets. That is how you do it for that. But when it comes to this, when you're talking about the parenthetical parenthesis format, both the name and the year are enclosed within the same bracket here. And then when it comes to narrative, it's like you're narrating. Like let's say maybe Smith 2019 studied the effects of smoking on the lifespan of human beings. You see that? That is like narrating. But then when it comes to parenthetical, you'll say that Smith, or that you first quote what the author said, in his work on the effects of smoking on the lifespan of human beings, and then you quote by saying Smith 2019 in brackets. That is all about the in-text citations. Yeah, I'm so glad for hosting you once again today. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.